Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I want to congratulate all you guys this week. If you're an Inside Track Club member at Harbor Freight, odds are you participated in the 40% off purchasing of various Icon tools. Some of the more popular ones are going to be their Ratchets. Almost everything Ratchet-wise from Icon was on sale, and all of it was 40% off of its regular price. So, like many of you, I picked up several Ratchets, mostly these cushion grips, just because I typically don't grab them, but I figured why not give them a chance. But that comes with a warning, because if you watched one of my previous videos, and I will link it in the description so you can watch it, we go into great detail of these Ratchets that Icon makes, and their older Ratchets tend to be the better ones, and that has to do mostly with tolerances, clearances, even some machine work that's done to the anvil. And most importantly, there is this carbon steel spring. Let me get in focus here. Carbon steel spring wave washer that comes in it. And it gives the proper tension to this ratchet. So it goes on here like so. And we'll go over the dimensions of that for you, because a lot of you guys are missing that in your ratchet and you don't know it. And we're going to go over how you can tell if it's missing at a glance, why it's important, what could happen to it, if you should attempt to warranty them, and we'll go through all of mine here. I actually haven't had a chance to tear these apart yet, so we're going to do this together, and I'll try to speed through the video to make sure this stays on track and moves quickly for you, but we're going to see which ones of these have that washer in them, or if none of them have them in there, or maybe some of them have them. We're going to find that out right now. So hang tight, we'll dive in, and we'll show you this wave washer if it's in each one of these. Now first up, I'm going to show you real quick how you could test to tell, even without having to tear it apart, if it's missing. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say this one, as you hear it, sounds fine, right? Switch it back and forth, it's working okay. Now the test is to take the lever, tilt it up, and then try to turn it. Now, if you can't hear that, I'll put it by the microphone. That is essentially for the anvil and the pawl not lining up properly and eating into the anvil and essentially the pawl at the same time. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say this one does not have that carbon steel spring wave washer in it. So let's take it apart and let's find out. The 3/8 inch drive are going to use a T8 screw. And it's worth noting that they are Loctited in, so take your time and make sure you have a nice bit that's not worn down that takes them out. Otherwise, you could do further damage. Now we'll take a magnet and pop this off. So, as I suspected, no wave washer. We'll zoom in here for you guys to see even closer. That wave washer would be located right along here. So nothing there. It is nice to see that they actually have greased it. So properly greased. Yeah, that looks good. And there is no beveling of the corner. So it is an abrupt corner here on this ratchet. You'll notice on the older ones that it actually has a chamfer to it, which helps to keep this corner from, as it gets pressure, engaging. And it's an additional machining process that, I mean, only inspires some quality in the product, and that is no longer there. You also know that the pawl is different between the two. That's a bigger pawl. This is a smaller pawl. In my other video, we go into more details about that, but that's not the point of this video. We'll keep going. I want to see what the others look like. So next up is this other 3/8 drive. This is the long comfort grip, and we'll give it a quick test and see if if there's any binding. Not quite. It's not as... Let's change the direction. Alright, I think this one, it's not as smooth as this setup here, but we'll give it a test and see how it looks inside. All right. Now, oddly enough, this one does not. This one does not have it. Let's double check on the back here because they got stuck. No, this one does not have a wave washer. So, yeah, somehow it's managed not to bite as bad. And the machine work to the anvil is going to be just the same as the stubby we just did. We can put them up side by side so you guys could see. So I mean, visually, other than grease, tell me if I'm wrong, guys, but I'm not seeing anything different in there. Let's do a check of the anvil. I want to see how thick it is at this point. We're reading 14.91. It appears to be about 14. This one's got a little bit more recess to it. But 14.90, so they're going to be right at the same size. So these are going to be the same, but for whatever reason, this one does not appear to have the same issue. So that's interesting to see between these two ratchets. Okay, well, let's do, I got one more 3/8 drive here. Non-comfort grip. And I've actually had this one sitting. I actually haven't used this one yet. It was in the box still. But we'll give it a check and see. Maybe this older one might have it in there. We'll check here too. We'll do the test and see if it... Nope, nothing there. Actually feels slightly better than the last one I just did. That other long reach. All right, let's dive in. All right, we got this one apart. Let's take a look. No such crush washer. Yeah, plenty of grease. And again, it looks just like this one, the stubby. Stubby's right here on the left. Long reach on the right. That is interesting, to say the least. So for whatever reason, the flex, and that was a recurring problem when I bought the complete 3/8 inch drive set that had the newest ratchet like this. It didn't have the crush washer in it, but it had all sorts of grinding. And I think I had one other that didn't have a crush washer. But these solid handle 3/8 drive ratchets appear to have the problem. But so far, both of these flexes that don't have the crush washer, I'm not having that issue with. So is that a tolerance thing that's within the ratchet and how deep that anvil sets? Maybe they got that figured out so that it sets correctly. For whatever reason, this one seems to sit, I guess, maybe a little bit lower. So what I'm pointing at is maybe the problem lies in this height difference right here. Maybe that step down is less in the flex heads. Oh, that does feel like it. It does feel like it drops. Let you guys see. That shelf right there. Still has a shelf there too, but it feels maybe just ever so slightly less. So maybe that's the difference. So I tried to hop online and see if I could find this wave washer. It was just a quick check. I did not see anything pop up, but I'll let you know the dimensions of it for you guys that don't have it and you realize you have that back drag problem where it's eating into the anvil. So inner diameter is going to be 0.6 inches or roughly 15.45 millimeters inner diameter. Outer diameter is going to be 0.73 inches or about 18.55 millimeters. And then the thickness of this washer is about 0.0035 inches or 0.09 millimeters. So I got that measurement already. On Amazon, there are a couple assortment kits. You know, if you look under carbon steel spring wave washer assortment kit, there's a couple on there, and only a couple of the manufacturers actually show what those inner outer diameters and thicknesses are. So be wary. There is some big assortment ones. I may pull the trigger and see if I can find one that pops up. But for you guys, you know, what does that mean for you? Do you keep this? Do you keep your Ratchet and deal with it? Do you try to find a wave washer and fix it yourself? Or should Icon step up and fix it? Do you take it back and say, hey, this has a problem, and you get another one, and you keep returning until you get the right one that does have the proper wave washer? I feel like it's a problem, and I don't know if they've resolved it since they started making the change. And I feel like it's been maybe a year or two that they started making this change, because my older stuff doesn't have that problem. My newer stuff does, and I don't like that they haven't fixed that. So let's jump in next. We'll take a look at the 1/4 inch drive as well as the 1/2 inch drive and see if that has the same issues or not. And we'll go from there. All right, so we've got the screws out of this. Not quite the 1/4 inch. I actually ended up breaking off 2 of my T5 bits just to get this one to nowhere. So I got one out, but I can't get the other one out. We're not going to find out what that one has in it today. Thank you for the Loctite, the overuse of Loctite on that one. But this one we'll open up together. We'll take a look and see on the 1/2 inch drive what that looks like. Check that out. Okay. So, the good news... is it's right here. If we could get it. That might be stainless, since it's not grabbing, or aluminum. Is that aluminum? It is mildly magnetic, so I'm betting this is stainless. So, there you go. It does have a stainless wave washer that sits inside there, which is great to see. And it still has the bevel to the gear set. So, all the things I like to see. What it doesn't have is grease. That is completely... Let's look at the back. Always the back of these plates have some sort of grease on them. None whatsoever. So fail on their part. If you guys have one, you might want to check it for grease. Make sure you put some grease in there, because she's running dry. So there you guys have it. If you don't have a crush washer, I suggest you get one to make sure your Ratchet lasts. Unless you guys just want to deal with the warranty or deal with that really, really gnarly binding that happens to your wrench, then that's fine. You can take it back when it breaks or when it bothers you enough. But I think the biggest challenge you have too is you could potentially be working on something and that binds or that slips. You end up hurting your hand, hurting your arm, hurting your face. I mean, there's plenty of scenarios where that goes south on you. So my recommendation is, yeah, check it out. See what's inside yours. For me, I'm going to go ahead and try to find some wave washers and put them inside there. That way they last. And then if I ever do take them back and warranty them, I can always pull out my wave washer and put it back in the new one as needed. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. I'd love to hear if you guys have that wave washer in yours or not. Or even if you found a manufacturer that has this sorted out, that you could just buy the exact wave washer that you want and put it in there. But anyways, congratulations to you guys that purchased these. It's kind of a mixed bag. You got a good deal on some Ratchets, but they do have their flaws and their issues. And maybe that's why Icons put them on sale. I don't know. But if you made it this far, please like, please subscribe, because we keep bringing videos like this to you guys weekly and currently multiple times a week. Talk to you guys soon.